This is the final game on Championship Saturday, the Class 8A IHSA matchup between the top-seeded and 13-0 Brother Rice Crusaders and the 10-3 Loyola Academy Ramblers. This is the last game. It has been a day of thrillers. It has been a day of electric performances. And we close it out here with the heavyweight battle between the Ramblers and the Crusaders. Patrick Reed along with NBC Sports Preps Insider, Edgy Tim Halloran. And Edgy Tim, this one has the feel of a big game atmosphere with these two teams.
Oh, it does. It's two arguably tremendous historical programs, both from the Chicago Catholic League. Both want to run the ball, play very physically. You're going to see a ton of similarities. Really tight, well-played game, no question.
It has been a long time since Brother Rice has been on this stage. Loyola Academy has been here more often, and for more on tonight's game, we send it to the guys in the booth. We'll be calling the game Dave Bernhardt and Hub Arkish.
Well, thank you very much, Patrick. And you speak of Brother Rice, the top seed. It's been a long time for the Crusaders. It's been a long year, right? Last year, Brother Rice 2-7. They turned that around. They go 13-0, exacting revenge on several of their opponents from the previous year. And speaking of revenge, Loyola Hub is kind of on a little mini revenge tour of their own.
Yeah, I think we could call this the revenge tour for them for sure. Remember, 2 years ago, right here, played Maine South, and this title game got beat in the quarterfinals this year. They knock off Maine South 17-0. Last year, we were in DeKalb. They got beat in the championship game by Lincoln Way East. Who'd they beat last week in the semis to get here? Well, of course, it was Lincoln Way East. Earlier this season, they got smoked by Brother Rice, 35-3. They're hoping for a little revenge tonight.
Let's take a look at our key players in this ball game. We'll go one offense, one defense. They're both all-staters. First of all, quarterback for Brother Rice, John Bean.
Well, Bean's going to remind you a little bit of McCarthy, who we saw in the 7A game. He's going to be a pocket passer, going to do most of his damage that way. He is a great thrower of the football, not a tremendous threat to run the ball, but he is the guy who gets this Brother Rice offense going, and he's done a great job of it all season long.
And defensively for Loyola, it's another all-stater. That's Jake Gonzalez.
I feel like he's one of my sons. He's been starting for forever. He started 42 straight games for Loyola. Of course, we've been doing these games for a little while. He is a special player at linebacker, the guy who makes this defense go, and it is the defense of Loyola that got them turned around after that 3-3 start.
Folks have waited for this game for quite some time. It's now. It's the 8A championship. Loyola Academy, Brother Rice, the Crusaders is coming your way next on NBC Sports Chicago.
We are back to Champaign, and Edgy Tim, this is a matchup of teams that have already seen each other this season. Brother Rice thumping Loyola in their only meeting. So for Brother Rice, what are the keys tonight?
Well, again, the game just went way too well the first time around. So you know that Loyola is going to make some adjustments. If you're Brother Rice, you have to have an answer for those adjustments. Then obviously you're going to need a big play or two if you're Brother Rice.
Well, the Ramblers are so balanced in the way they attack. What do you see for them tonight to get past Brother Rice?
What's been a big key for Loyola in the postseason is they haven't turned the ball over. Defensively, they forced a turnover or two. If you can force a turnover or two, limited amount of touches from Brother Rice, you're in great shape if you're Loyola.
Class 8A championship coming up.
Welcome back to Champaign, everybody. It's the moment we waited for, your 8A championship game. Brother Rice and Loyola Academy. Dave Bernhardt and Hub Arkerts standing high above the Memorial Stadium turf at the 50-yard line. Brother Rice won the toss. They elected to defer to the second half. Loyola will get their hands on the ball first. Big crowd both sides of the field for this one. Inside the 10-yard line. Ramblers on the return out to about the 25. Loyola Academy at one point this season, 3-3. They have won 7 straight. One of the reasons why. Quarterback Jack Fallon. Fallon, the senior, injured early in the season. He has come on. He has led this team. He is a leader. And he has brought them to this point. There is numbers in not an entirely full season. 1,200 yards passing, 12 touchdowns to go along with 6 interceptions. Fallon had a couple of those interception passes in the win over Lincoln Way East, a 24-16 win last Saturday in the semifinals. Michael Gavrick gets the first carry, and here is the Loyola Academy offense. The Ramblers will go this way, as we mentioned. Jack Fallon, Michael Gavrick got the carry on that play. Great receivers. Artie Collins, Rory Booz, and Jared Lombardi. The offensive line, Kelly, Janaris Hortness, Josh Kreutz, and Joe Naselli. A loss of the yard on play number 1. Fallon. Good enough for a first down. He will get it to James Kyle, tight end. And the defense for Brother Rice, a unit that gives up only 5.5 points per game. Yes, 5.5. Jefferson, it's the Fitzgerald twins on the defensive side. And the linebackers very active in Jones, Seaver, and McMahon. There is Joe Fitzgerald, 2-year starter for the Crusaders. Big hole right side. Gavrick hits it. Michael Gavrick comes into this game 480 yards in the ground. He averages 3.5 yards per carry.
Nice little short trap there from Josh Kreutz, the right guard, to open that up. And if the name sounds familiar, yes, his father is 6-time Pro Bowler from the Chicago Bears, Olin Kreutz, who's in the stands tonight.
For a gain of 5. They'll hit it again with Gavrick. He gets in a nice hole going off that left side of the offensive line. This time it was behind Christo Kelly and Peter Janaris. 11 yards for Gavrick. The head coach for Loyola Academy is John Holisek. He is in his 13th season, 145 wins. This is a Loyola program that has been here in the championship game remarkably 4 straight years, and that play will go nowhere. That was blown up by Zach Wyerko for a loss of 4.
Wyerko just picking a gap and shooting that gap, and that play never had a chance. Really nobody there with a chance to stop him on the way in. This Brother Rice defense will attack all night long.
Wyerko, 6', 265-pound senior. Fallon will look to do it himself. To the 44-yard line.
Jack Fallon on
It's really interesting because that's not really Jack Fallon's game. I mean, he'll come out of there every once in a while, but he is back there. We've got a couple of pocket passers in this game. They're not going to be the running quarterbacks that you get used to in a lot of these spread offenses.
Remember, Fallon separated his shoulder in week 1. Came back off the bench in week 9. Trying to get the ball to Jared Lombardi. Successful in that. But this Brother Rice defense closes in a hurry. A loss of 2. Defense may be the story of this ball game. These two are great defensive units. Brother Rice, unbelievable numbers. They give up only 165 yards of total offense. We said only 5.5 points per game this season. This is a defense that has only allowed 72 total points. 9 games did not allow a touchdown. One of the reasons why is what you just saw right there. Jack McMahon smothering Fallon. Nate Van Zelst with the punt. This will work very nicely for the Ramblers. Inside the 10-yard line, that's where Brother Rice will take over. They'll be led on the field by the All-State quarterback. We just talked about him, John Bean. He is a dual-threat quarterback. You will see him run it. You will see him throw it. His development this year has been remarkable. Those are some pretty sweet numbers right there. 1,800 yards throwing the ball. He's also rushed for 823. Ball right at the 10-yard line for an offense that averages about 31 points per game. They'll give it off to the right side of Jesse Plunkett. That'll be good for 5. Brother Rice offense looks this way. Strong offensive line led by University of Illinois commit Evan Kurtz at the right tackle, just committed this week. Dylan Summers and Anthony Arquilla can go get it. The tight ends have been effective. David O'Keefe has been big in the postseason. 5 yards on first down. Bean with Plunkett in the backfield behind him. To the 20-yard line, close to that first down. That pass went to Anthony Arquilla, his 29th catch of the year.
You mentioned David O'Keefe, big in the postseason, the big tight end, also big in the classroom. He will be heading for Harvard when his career is over at Brother Rice. And I asked Brian Badke, how does it feel coaching kids that you know are smarter than him? He said, I'm not even in his league. He said, this kid is so smart, it is unbelievable. He is going to be playing football at Harvard next year.
There's David O'Keefe, 6'3", 235-pound senior. Third and less than a yard for the Crusaders. They'll go for it. And slips the tackle. Well, that was set up to spring Dylan Summers, and it almost did. 13 yards and a first down for Brother Rice. Dylan Summers, 62 catches for 944 yards this season. He has 14 touchdowns, and he nearly broke it for a big one.
And if that looked kind of natural for him, Dave, it's probably because he's been catching passes from John Bean since he was in first grade. They live on the same block, played with the Oak Lawn Outlaws together, and literally been playing football together for over 10 years now.
Dylan Summers headed to Cornell following his graduation from Brother Rice. Bean floats it just a bit too deep. Here are your playmakers. Folks will keep an eye on. Jesse Plunkett in the backfield is a 1,000-yard runner. John Bean not too far behind. And we've already seen catches from Summers and Arquilla. Brother Rice 2-7 last year. Injuries and inexperience last year. Brian Badke says not surprised at what's happened this year because they've stayed away from injuries and they have developed that experience. A 13-0 mark. Brian Badke, the head coach for Brother Rice, in his 7th season. 51 victories against just 30 losses. Short gain on first down. It'll go for 3 yards.
You mentioned the defenses could be the story tonight, Dave. You look at Loyola, they got off to the tough 3-3 start. A bunch of significant injuries. But in the 7 games following that 3-3 start, they have allowed just 7.7 points per game. Brother Rice, on the other hand, a stretch of 6 shutouts in 8 games leading up to the quarterfinals of the state playoffs. 2 really good defenses out there. Brother Rice has been a little better on offense than Loyola has.
That'll be a defensive situation here for the Ramblers, defending a 3rd down and 7. Bean time. Right through the hands of Summers at the 40-yard line. That would have been start of the first down. And the Loyola defense holds, so we've had 2 possessions. They will each end in punts.
It actually looked like a pretty good throw. Yep, just ranked a little bit on his back shoulder, but not too bad. Summers normally is going to catch that football. Good coverage. He had a DB all over his back, but that's a play you'll see them make more often than not.
Jared Lombardi deep to receive this punt from Anthony Matejko. Not a great kick here from Matejko, off the side of his foot, out of bounds. They're still walking it up the sidelines. And Loyola Academy will start their next drive at the 49-yard line, a 16-yard punt. The Ramblers will send their offense on the field, and we'll pick it up with them after this break. Loss of 3 on the very first play. Loyola getting to the line in a hurry. Now they will jump right back to the line. And it will be 2nd down and 13. Fallon, look right, here he comes. He has some room, needs a block, he gets it there. Jack Fallon will come up just short of the first down. 12-yard run for Fallon. He was stretching for the first down. Will be a yard short. Fallon, toughness and mobility, according to his coach, John Holisek. And he showed both of it right there. So a 2nd and 13 becomes a 3rd down and 1. Did the catch get made? It did. It did. Artie Collins got his hands underneath the ball. Nice catch by Fallon on the snap.
The first down for Loyola.
Boy, that was a tough catch right there. Defending the play was Danny Fitzgerald.
That was a dangerous throw because Fitzgerald came flying in there. If that ball is not as low as it was, he picks that off. I don't know if that was intentional by Fallon or not.
Yet it results in a first down inside the 35. And the Rice defense will stop Fallon for no gain. Number 41 is Justin Jefferson. A high motor that never stops. He's a beast, according to his head coach, Brian Badke. How about that explosion from the defensive front of Brother Rice? Number 89, Ty McCoy. 6'2", 205, a senior. Also in, causing problems, Wyerko. This was Trevor the Ban and entered a ball game. Fallon never had a chance. Once again, loss of yardage. Fallon, room to run again. McMahon will throw him about 5 yards out of bounds. 7-yard pickup for Fallon. And a very spirited rivalry that rears its head here early. Two members of the Chicago Catholic League Blue Conference. And Jack Fallon having a conversation with a few of the Brother Rice players. This has been heated. Remember, early in the year, these teams met 35-3. That was the win by Brother Rice. And now it's 4th down and 5. Fallon across his body. And the Ramblers will turn the ball over on downs. 4:02 to play in the first quarter. You're getting exactly what you thought we would see. Very unique stake finals this year. In 2 different classes, in 4A and 6A, we have conference members meeting for the state championship. Yesterday in Class 4A from the Metro Suburban Blue, IC Catholic knocked off Bishop McNamara. They beat the Fighting Irish earlier this year. And we mentioned here in the Catholic Blue Conference a matchup of Brother Rice and Loyola. The last time this happened was in 2007 when conference opponents met. And that's when the DuPage Valley was represented by Naperville North and Glenbard North. Bean with the completion should be enough for the first down. And it will go to Anthony Arquilla, the 2 head coaches. On the left, John Holisek. He is in his 13th season at Loyola. Brian Badke, his 7th year at Brother Rice. Badke taking a 2-7 team to 13-0. First down, Crusaders at the 41. Summers on the jet sweep. Too many Ramblers in his way. No gain for Dylan Summers.
It's interesting looking at this Loyola team on both sides of the ball. I feel like we've gotten to know them pretty well. They've been here the last 3 years, Dave. And this team not nearly as big as the clubs that IHSA has brought down, either on the offensive or defensive line. They're still big as high school teams go, but they've traded some of that size for speed and athleticism, and don't have the huge size advantage on the defensive or offensive line we've gotten used to at the Ramblers.
Remember, this is a program that generally does not play underclassmen. You earn your spot as a senior. Summers cannot turn away. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 Ramblers in the vicinity of Dylan Summers, who once again knocked out there near the Brother Rice bench. In fact, when you look at this starting defensive lineup for Loyola, an entire senior bunch. One of the first men in on the hits, one of those seniors, number 20, Nick Pomey. Pomey, part of a group of 5 players from the same grammar school: Jonas Selly, James Kyle, Nick Pomey, and Cam McIntosh. This is from a school, Loyola, that boasts students from about 80 different zip codes. And finding the completion is Bean. Somehow he threaded the needle to David O'Keefe. 19 yards from Bean to O'Keefe.
One of the reasons that Loyola is able to field so many seniors is look at the size of their squad. I mean, I notice this every year. You look over on the Brother Rice side, and they've got about 25, 30 backups. Loyola looks like they've brought the entire city of Wilmette with them. You got to have close to 80, 90 kids in uniform.
I will tell you how many are in uniform. 125.
Really? I was going to say 100, and I thought, no, nobody will believe that. That's nuts. It's just they are all over the sidelines.
First down, Crusaders, they're on the move. And this time, Bean will go down. He'll be sacked back at the 45-yard line. Number 33 is Armani Dixon. Dixon, the senior outside linebacker. That sack cost Brother Rice 10 yards. Look at that, one arm by Dixon.
Yeah, you've got Dixon apparently considering a number of different offers from colleges. He's going to play Division I football, just hasn't decided where yet.
Under 2 minutes to play here in the first quarter.
I guess I have to call it FBS these days. Again, I'm sure Division I qualifies any longer. He's going to play some big-time football is what I'm trying to say.
Second and long for Bean. Exactly where that was intended. Michael Cadis, 42 for Loyola, the nearest man to that ball. May have been a little bit of a mix-up in a route.
I actually thought he was throwing it at Cadis. I was afraid he'd made a mistake there. I thought Cadis had a chance to pick it. Fortunately, threw it a little bit over his head.
And the intended receiver there was number 14, Anthony Arquilla. Here's a look at it again. Well, that sets up a third down and very long. Third down and 20. That 10-yard sack looming large right now. Short side of the field. Not much room for Plunkett. They'll get 5, and it'll be 4th and 15. Saw how the offense for Brother Rice spreads the field. That's what Brian Batke brought to Rice 7 years ago. In fact, he was all about the offense at that time. That was his background, and he realized, we need to beef up that defense a little bit. And we've already given you some of the numbers that this defensive unit has had here in 2018.
This is interesting. He's going on 4th and 15 from the 39-yard line.
They have to get to the 25.
Talk about trusting your defense.
A little quick kick. But whistle stop play. And Loyola got a timeout. So John Holisek smells something fishy.
Timeout, Loyola.
Well, that becomes a very effective timeout because that ball is going to be punched down near the 10-yard line.
I'm going to give you one prediction, Dave. It's not a real bold one. I'm not going to try and pick a winner. But unlike the, I believe, what was it, 4th week of the season, this is not going to be a 35-3 ball game. These are two really good defenses out here.
Boy, you are feeling it right now. Let's take a look at the school bios for these two teams, two familiar teams. We said both out of the Catholic Blue Conference. First of all, for Loyola, of course, in Wilmette. We're in the largest school class here in Illinois, so the enrollment of 33-14. Last year, Loyola got all the way to this championship ball game before losing to Lincoln Way East 23-14. And for Brother Rice on the south side of Chicago, they were the smallest 8A school this year. They were right on that 7A, 8A bubble all season long, landed in 8A, and yet here they are as the top seed in Class 8A. So we'll do it again here from 4th and about 14. This time Loyola drops a man back. Let's see what Bean does. He's going to throw it. Bean being hounded. He's going to go down. Chasing him down for another sack. This time it's Edward Eastman. He would not be denied. The nose tackle for Loyola Academy will give the Ramblers the ball right at midfield.
Yeah, I don't understand that call by Brian Batke. I think it's great to trust your defense, but you don't want to give the ball up at midfield in a scoreless football game.
The 50-yard line, a couple of sacks on that last series of plays for Loyola puts them in great field position. Fallon, play action, complete. Artie Collins bounces off one, makes a move for another. He's inside the 20-yard line. .33 yards on the completion from Fallon to Collins.
You know, you're talking about a team in Loyola that has tremendous experience in these championship games. A bunch of seniors, as we've talked about. You don't want to help them out any more than you have to, and it looks like this one could hurt them.
Gavrick's able to plow through. He'll get to the 15-yard line, picked up a couple.
And I say could hurt him, meaning Brother Rice, of course, in that decision. You know, you drop to throw the football at midfield, even if you don't get the sack, you know, what do you got, a 60% chance of completing the pass? It really was an interesting decision.
That decision plus a 33-yard pitch and catch sets up the Loyola Ramblers. We've played 12 minutes here in your 8A title game. No score, no surprise, but Loyola on the move as we head to quarter number 2. Welcome back to Memorial Stadium. Dave Bernhardt along with Hub Arkish. Hub, I really believe Loyola is really enjoying the broadcast of our game here.
I noticed this last year, Dave. They've actually got a video set up on the sidelines, and whichever unit is not on the field comes off and looks at the last possession. They diagram plays to figure out what they can do better.
Fallon delivers to Collins once again, right there at the 5-yard line. It will be 1st and goal from there. Jack Fallon did not play in that first game between these two teams. He's having an impact here early. 1st and goal, Ramblers. Looking for 6. Incomplete. It hopped into Rory Booz. Booz, 50 catches, 797 yards, and 10 touchdowns this year.
So a young man, again, we've called these guys in this game the last 4 years. He looks like he may finally be over 170, Dave. He's a tall, lanky kid, and they've been trying to put weight on ever since he got to Loyola. What we heard earlier this week is apparently the entire family is long and lean. They talk about his length a lot.
Well, whatever it's been for Rory Booz and all of Loyola Academy fans, it's worked out okay. Fallon looking for a little bit of help. Will be a couple of yards closer. Gain of 3. 3rd down and goal.
to guess they may be in 2-down territory here. Knowing what a defensive struggle this is going to be to get this ball all the way down here, let's see if they can get it on 3rd down first.
Will be Fallon again behind Gabrick. Fallon was ready to go in, but then someone in a white jersey just turned him around, and it will be 4th down from right there.
Somebody got underneath him and took his legs out. It's not even that it was such a big pop as he just couldn't stretch out because his legs were pulled out from underneath him.
4th down and goal. The dive,
didn't get it.
Did it.
No.
Brother Rice comes up huge. Defended a 1st and goal from the 5. Defended a 4th and goal from the half-yard line.
Well, obviously, Brian Radke knows his team better than I do. The coach made an interesting decision to go on 4th and 15 from the Loyola 40-yard line. Gave up the ball at midfield and just looked like it was going to backfire. A huge goal line stand, 2 stops inside the 2-yard line on 3rd and 4th down.
That last tackle was by Jack McMahon, and he just yanked Fallon back from the 1-yard line. And now it may be from the half-yard line. On the right side, the jump from right guard John McGlynn.
I wonder if that's a record. The first 18-inch penalty in 8A history. That's a
False start.
Doesn't really hurt you all
in the
that
offense.
much.
Half the distance to the goal. Still 1.
You don't get that situation too often, do you?
Might as well try and get a head start. You haven't got a lot to lose.
The Crusaders will just look to get a little breathing room. Oh, goodness, look how close that is.
You almost have to throw this from here.
He will. He gets it to O'Keefe. A sigh of relief here at Memorial Stadium coming from the Brother Rice fans. You know, and back to your point about Brian Radke's decision to go for it on 4th and 15 and the confidence it shows in his defense. The defense will feed off of that. Now, granted, they gave up yards to get to the 5-yard line, but the defense will feed off the decisions like that. 2nd down and a yard. Plunkett will be stopped short. He'll lose a yard on the play.
You know, I think one of the things that makes both these defenses so tough, Dave, is how aggressive these linebackers are. They read as well as any high school linebackers I've ever seen. They are coming forward. They know when they have to drop, when they can go forward. And that was just a great push by the Loyola defense and those 2 linebackers coming hard.
Okay, so do the Ramblers answer right here on 3rd down and a yard from the 10-yard line. Number 57, you're looking at Tim Thompson, senior defensive end. And the timeout will be called. It will be called by Brother Rice on 3rd and a yard. 9:42 to play here in the first half. And you're seeing a scoreless 8A championship game. Coming into this ball game, it was all about defense in terms of the tradition defense from Loyola and how the Ramblers had really picked it up as this season's gone along, and the sustained 13-game defensive effort from Brother Rice and Huff. This is exactly how we thought it'd play out.
Yeah, although I got to tell you, I mentioned Brother Rice has been a little more effective on offense than Loyola. Not tonight. Loyola with 99 yards so far. Brother Rice just 55. Brother Rice has -7 yards on the ground looking at this 3rd and 1.
Yeah, they'll be happy with 2 yards on this play, but wait a minute. A penalty is called, a flag thrown, just as teams were getting set.
Pre-snap, it's got
Dead ball.
Brother Rice.
False start.
Yeah.
14. White. 5-yard penalty.
Get your first look at our referee tonight, Stephen Walliser, the rest of his crew, Jim Perkins, William Sherlock, John Anderson, and Chris Terpstra. They get the honor of working this 8A championship game. So what was a 3rd down and a yard now becomes 3rd down and 6. John Bean in the middle of that huddle. Bean, 6 foot 190-pound seniors, is standing on the goal line. He has 3 receivers to the right side. Delivers. And that will be good for a 1st down. Confident throw, and he gets it out to Dylan Summers. 8 yards when they needed 6. 1st down, Brother Rice. Well, we have been inside the 15-yard line for a long time in this game, both from the Loyola side and now Brother Rice.
Yeah, you really, you would almost think the way this game is going, Rice is going to have to hit something down the field, a big play to back these defensive backs and linebackers up a little bit right now, because Loyola is not afraid of that passing game, and they are coming up tight to stuff the run and stack the box.
Plunkett, the carry, is able to wiggle his way through. He'll get 4 yards on 1st down. Jesse Plunkett, a 1,000-yard rusher this year. He only stands 5'7". Brian Batke, his head coach, kind of laughs and says, you know, he's kind of tough to see. Well, when your offensive line goes 235, 275, 280, 285, 265, yeah, 5'7" kind of gets lost.
Hey, he's an inch taller than Tariq Cohn.
There you go. Bean pulls it out from Plunkett. Down the field. Summers, did he come up with it? He did! Dylan Summers, great concentration and completion from Bean to Summers, goes for 34 yards and puts the ball in Loyola territory.
Exactly what we were just talking about, Dave. That could back the Loyola defense up a little bit now, open up some running lanes. You've got to respect that that was man-to-man coverage, and I'll tell you what, it was really good coverage, but if he doesn't lay out for that ball, that's got a chance to go all the way. Took a big shot after delivering the ball, too.
Bean never saw the completion. Coverage to Michael Byrne, number 14 for the Ramblers. This drive started inside the 1-yard line. Couple of yards once again on 1st down for Plunkett.
You know, there really is, it's not true that when you go from 3A to 4A and 4A to 6A that they get bigger and they get stronger. There's big high school kids everywhere, but as you come up in class, there are more big kids, more better athletes. This really is the heavyweights, and this has the feeling almost of a college football game, looking at the way these 2 defenses are going at it with these offenses.
It really does. All the shifting on the Loyola side. Plunkett off left tackle. We're about a yard and a half short of a 1st down after that 6-yard pickup.
I'd love to know what that was. I've never seen that many people on defense moving at once. You see that offense sometimes, but the whole defense was shifting sides, it appeared.
I don't know that they ever got completely set either. Defensive unit looking to the near side. Here it is. All right, we had 11 players moving just about to snap the ball on the defensive side.
I don't think I've ever seen that before.
3rd and a little more than a yard. 1st down. Crusaders will keep the chains moving. Jesse Plunkett, 4-yard run.
Tackled by Armani Dixon. He's coming.
Brian Badke wants his team to muscle up. Their offensive coordinator for Brother Rice. Defensive coordinator on the other side for Loyola is John Hollisek. This will be the 10th play of the drive. This drive started way back on the other end of the field. Over the middle. Intended receiver was David O'Keefe.
Pass intended to David O'Keefe.
The ball was up the grab. Number 16 is Jake Gonzalez. Speak of O'Keefe going to Harvard, how about Gonzalez going to Penn?
Well, and how about Gonzalez starting his 42nd consecutive game for Loyola? What a great high school football player. And not only did he break that up, but he was very close to picking that football. And had he, there was nothing but green grass between him and the end zone.
You know, think about that for a second. 42 consecutive starts. That means your season either lasts a long time or you start as a freshman. That much running room. The ball comes out of there.
I thought he was down. I think they're going to call him down.
Jesse Fleck with the ball carrier.
Patrick Daniels is on the ball. Here's another look at it.
And 54, Patrick Daniels.
He's on the ground when the ball comes out. He might be starting to lose it, but he hits the ground before the ball pops loose.
Good job by Daniels. He was getting after that ball. He knew he had a teammate that was going to be making the tackle, and Daniels is right there. It is 3rd down and long, 3rd and 8. Being in trouble.
That ball's out.
Free. Picked up the 45-yard line. Loyola will have it. Luke Deschereaux, the fumble recovery. Turnover, Brother Rice.
There's a penalty flag on the field. I don't know if anybody else sees it, but it's down there at the 41-yard line, back where that play started.
It is a lonely flag in the middle of the field.
Holding. Offense. Number 75. That penalty's declined. 1st down.
Bean being chased. Deschereaux right man on the ball. That may have been Edward Eastman that forced the fumble. He was chasing Bean from the backside, and indeed it is. Number 58 is Edward Eastman.
I thought Deschereaux might have been able to do a little bit more with that once he got it, but a nice play to get him out of bounds on the sideline there. Who's that?
Dan Sullivan
Yeah,
recovered.
Dan Sullivan did a nice job to come back and get him and keep that from being a real disaster.
Completion will go to Jared Lombardi, his 39th catch of the year. Defensive unit just forced a turnover. Now they'll see the video of their play in that last possession.
Hope Deschereaux doesn't hear what I just said about it.
They don't have the volume.
It was nice, yeah. It wasn't negative. I just thought he might have gone a little further.
Once again, Lombardi. He'll have enough for the 1st down. Jared Lombardi, one of the receivers for Loyola. This time he'll get it out of the backfield. Nice block there on the left side. Number 89, James Kyle, the tight end, helping to spring Lombardi for the 1st down. Fallon to Lombardi. Inside the 5. It's 1st and goal from there. 3 straight plays involving Jared Lombardi. Fallon waited and found him.
Well, and he just broke wide open on a deep in cut, and Fallon was looking for it all along. He actually might have done himself a favor if he just kept going with the ball instead of trying to stop him and reverse his field. But nonetheless, he's got him inside the 5-yard line again.
21-yard completion down to the 4. 2nd time in this quarter, it's been 1st and goal from inside the 5. Plenty of time for Fallon. Delivers. This time he was looking for Artie Collins.
That one behind him a little bit. It was a dart. And didn't get it out in front of him. He might have had something there if he had.
Armani Dixon will check into the ball game on the offensive side for the Loyola Academy Ramblers. There's Dixon right at the bottom of your screen.
Why does that feel to me like lead blocker all the way?
Well, that's where he's going.
Pop somebody out of the way.
He's set up there on the right side. They're going to go left to the end zone. Collins knocked away, defended by Giacomo Irasci.
I think that is supposed to be a fade pattern that he actually threw underneath, and you got to put that ball up high. Let Collins go up and get it if you want to have that play work.
Irasci right there. Irasci called the eraser by Brian Badke. Fallon knew.
He's mad at himself. He knows he underthrew that ball.
It's 3rd down and goal. And a timeout will be called.
My brother Rice, Radke saw something he didn't like there. Bad game, I'm sorry.
So the Crusaders use their 2nd of 3 timeouts. And when we come back, we've got a 3rd down and goal from inside the 5 in a scoreless game. Catch an all-new episode of Beer Money presented by Coors Light, Chicago's favorite sports trivia show, where fans are put to the test for a chance to take home cash. Play along tomorrow at 7 on NBC Sports Chicago.
Dave, the Loyola Ramblers have started their last 3 drives at their own 49 at midfield and at the Brother Rice 36, and they still have no points to show for it.
They'll get a shot right here. Fallon, little option look. He'll get it to Gabrick. Touchdown! Michael Gabrick scores from 4 yards out, and we put some points on the board with 3:51 to play in the first half.
And that is an outstanding flag on the play. Let's see what that's about.
That flag is in the end zone.
Might be a celebration, huh? Or else an offensive hold.
Dead ball. Personal foul. Number 44 on the defense.
Ooh.
So count the score from Gabrick.
Dave, that was a great job by Fallon running that option outside. Watch him hold the ball till the very last minute. He sucks everybody in, gets cartwheeled, but there's nobody left outside to take the ball carrier.
Gabrick will go in for his 7th touchdown of the season. And we had about 3 yellow flags tossed on that one as Nate Van Zelst will await the opportunity to kick the extra point.
Brother Rice has got to be a little shell-shocked right now. This is a team that they beat by 32 points earlier in the season.
False start. Offense. 5-yard penalty. 1 on time down.
I'm sure they knew this was going to be a little more competitive, but they probably felt better about themselves than staring at the possibility of going to the locker room at halftime with no points on the board.
Well, they have been tested. Loyola has been down here twice. This time they come away with points. Now Van Zelst will have to try it 5 yards farther back. Ooh. And with that, Loyola Academy takes a 7-0 lead following a 7-play, 36-yard drive following a turnover. A fumble recovery by Luke Deschereaux sets it up. A minute 23 on that drive. And take a look back at how Loyola got there. Ball was near midfield. John Bean dragged out from behind by Eastman. Deschereaux with the return. From there, Jeff Fallon went to work. Jared Lombardi to inside the 5. Fallon, little option play. Gabrick takes it in for 6.
You know, on the fumble that set that up, Eastman did a great job. He wrapped his legs with his right arm and with his left arm came up and punched that ball out of there. That was not Bean just losing the handle on it. It was a great defensive play from Eastman.
The ball gets teed up at the 45-yard line following the dead ball personal foul. Kevin Byers has the ball teed up at the 45-yard line on the right hash. Likelihood he'll look to just pound this one into the end zone. That was easy. Brother Rice will start from the 20-yard line. 3:51 to play here in the first half. And let's see, what was the date on that ball game? Yes, September 14th. That's a long time ago.
It is, and I'll tell you, I mentioned at the top of the broadcast, starting right guard for Loyola, Joshua Kreutz, his dad, Olin. For those of you who listen to our pre and post game at 6-7 The Score, of course, Olin, my post game partner. And so I feel like I've been getting play-by-play on Loyola all season long. He'd come in every Sunday, we'd talk about the game, and he told me at the end of the regular season, trust me, this is the 6-3 team, the 3-loss team nobody wants to see in the playoffs, and we're seeing why right now.
Saw John Bean somewhat limping coming out for this offensive series. Pump fake, go right sideline. Summers doing battle, and the flag will come out. Jake Gonzalez right there was Summers. Well, you saw Bean come out with a little bit of a limp. You remember that last play that Bean ran? It was that tackle, that ankle tackle. Yeah. You wonder whether that foot kind of got caught underneath.
It twisted it a little bit.
Defensive pass interference. Number 14 to the defense. 15-yard penalty. That'll be a first down.
And the first penalty for the Ramblers here this evening. See the collision there. I believe they said number 14.
They did. And Gonzalez was the one in coverage. But
Michael Byrne will be known to the folks here on Memorial Stadium. The penalty, but it was Gonzalez right there. Nevertheless, 35-yard line. Bean in trouble. Nice job by Summers to come back and get it for a short pickup.
Well, no, because of the 15-yard penalty. I'm trying to figure out the ball placement on that because it didn't look like Gonzalez. They got their feet tangled up a little bit, but I didn't see anything that really looked like interference, and Byrne just wasn't close enough to interfere.
Watch Bean just maintain his presence in the pocket. He takes a big hit once again. He's been drilled a couple of times here tonight. Johnny Bean, 9 of 13 for 108 yards passing. We hit the 3-minute mark of the first half. Right into the hands of midfield.
That's going all the way.
Byrne. Little hesitation. Oh. He'll be stopped inside the 10. Michael Byrne. The interception, the return, and a penalty flag down as well.
That's Michael Byrne saying, don't blame me for those dumb penalties. That's on John Bean, though. That's just a terrible throw. Byrne made a bad decision cutting it inside. If it had stayed outside, he was going to the end zone.
Indication as this may go against Loyola. Once again, here's Stephen Walliser.
Dead ball. Personal foul. Defense. Dead ball. Personal foul. On the offense. The penalty's offset. First down. Go that way.
41 yards on the interception return from Byrne, and here's that throw from Bean. Wow, he had Anthony Arquilla behind him.
If he just stays outside here, he's going for the corner. Instead, he comes back inside and takes that huge hit. See what the penalties were, but I'm sure they came shortly after that.
Ramblers right back into the red zone, deep red zone, inside the 10, first and goal. Gabrick hits it hard to the 5.
I'll tell you, Dave, the way these defenses are playing, Brother Rice needs to get a stop here. I mean, even if they do kick a field goal, you do not want to go down 14 the way Loyola is playing defense. At 10 zip, you're not in great shape, but you're a lot better off at yard 14.
This clock winding down toward the 2-minute mark. Gabrick again. Third and goal.
You almost lost the handle on that, didn't it?
thing Michael Gavrick has done as this season has progressed. He is finding his holes so much better than he did earlier in the season.
The other thing, and this is watching good coaches figure this out, what Loyola is doing now is spreading them out and then running it back inside. They're getting a fewer number of bodies in there. This is Loyola's 10th play inside the 5-yard line.
My goodness.
And there's still a minute and a half left in the first half. Great call, man. Thank you.
Mike Rudolphi, our statistician up here, working it. 3rd and goal. Fallon is not going to get there. He was denied. Tim Desmond came up from his defensive back position. The 5'7" senior drops being for a loss of 5.
It starts out looking like the Gavrick touchdown, but then Gavrick goes inside to try and pick up a block, and there is no pitch option for Fallon. That play was dead from the beginning.
And Desmond all over Fallon. The offensive unit coming to the sidelines to talk to the Loyola Academy coaching staff, and we'll expect to see a timeout called here momentarily as this play clock winds down. There it is.
I would think you have to go for 3 here, don't you? I mean, is there a debate? You don't want to leave points on the board.
This is why I think you take a timeout to think about it. I mean, right now, I mean, so here's the interesting thought. In terms of pure strategy, you'd say, sure, take the 3 and move on with a 10-0 lead. But the way the momentum of this game's going, you think, man, if we can punch it in for 7, this could be a 14-zip game at halftime.
Dave, I agree, but Loyola hasn't shown me a lot of 7-yard plays in the first half so far. So that's what's got me wondering. I mean, minimally, you know they've got to throw it. I mean, they certainly haven't shown anything to suggest they can run the ball in from a 7-yard line.
Such familiarity with these two programs.
Well, here's the other thing. Don't forget, Brother Rice is going to get the ball to start the second half. So you do not want to risk letting them keep you off the scoreboard here. Now, I don't know anything about Loyola's field goal kicker. The ball is on the left hash mark. I mean, it should be a chip shot, but who knows?
Jack McMahon, 1 of 3 in field goal attempts this year. McMahon is out there.
Tells you something right there, though. If they've only tried 3 field goals.
Actually, McMahon is out there. I shouldn't say McMahon was the kicker. It's Nate Van Zelst that's the kicker. Van Zelst this year is 12 of 17 field goals.
There you go. There's 2.
And that makes it easy right there. Van Zelst, a 24-yard field goal attempt. And good. And a 10-0 Loyola lead. If you're Brother Rice and Brian Badke, you're pretty satisfied to walk out of that with just giving up 3.
Is that almost a win-win? I mean, you don't find it too often when the offense and the defense are both happy, but the offense at least gets 3 more. 2-score game now. But yeah, I got to agree. If I'm Badke, I am not too disappointed about holding them to 3. Loyola, they now have all of their points off the 2 Brother Rice turnovers.
Luke Deschereaux, a fumble recovery. Michael Byrne, an interception. And 10 points here in the second quarter. Let's see how the Ramblers elect to kick this one. Saw Byers boot it in the end zone after a 15-yard penalty. Plenty of leg on that one. Let's see what he elects to do here.
Yeah, there's only 31 seconds on the clock, so if he keeps it in play, Rice is going to get the ball with about 25 seconds left. Not likely to go the length of the field. They may want to try a squib kick here to make sure that there's no long returns.
He's going to hit it hard,
he's going to get it there too.
Deep.
Wow.
Ooh, that's getting the job done right there. Well, now Brother Rice, 31 seconds to play in the half. Down at the 20, the last 2 times you had the ball, you turned it over. Where do you go from here? You have that big play capability with Bean, Aquila, Summers. You look inside that huddle, I don't think the conversation is let's take a knee.
No, my guess would be that you want to try and get the ball in Dylan Summers' hands if you can. Bean's definitely got a little, hitch in his giddy up there, doesn't he? You can see it's not quite a limp, but it's also he is not completely comfortable on that leg.
Now Arquilla will split a little bit farther out to the right. Bean has time. And he will overthrow his intended receiver, and that was Anthony Arquilla by about 10 yards.
He's also into double coverage that was keeping the ball in front of him, so there really wasn't much there. And I didn't see anything else on the field either, so it's really just kind of desperation time and hope to catch a break, maybe get a pass interference call. Of course, that's the great thing about the high school and college game is you can't get a 40-yard penalty. You're only going to get to 15.
Brother Rice have a couple of timeouts remaining if they choose to use them here. Of course, the clock stops on the incomplete pass. Now it's Bean's turn again. And that hole closes in a hurry. Say hello to Armani Dixon.
That kid is a big-time hitter. He knows how to deliver a blow. And you see a lot of great defensive players. They can pile up a lot of tackles, but rarely do they get those knockout blows. This kid's already delivered about 3 or 4 of them in the first half.
Loyola Academy, a great second quarter. Yes, they were turned away once on 1st and goal inside the 5, but then the defense, or the Ramblers, turned it up a notch, forcing a fumble, intercepting a pass. They each lead to a score. Michael Gabrick, 4-yard touchdown run. Nate Banzel's 24-yard field goal. These two teams go to the locker room, a 10-0 lead for Loyola, and the head coach of the Ramblers, John Holisek, is standing by.
John, Brother Rice has been the standout defensive team as we've known to get to this point, but you guys tonight have had the standout defensive unit. Why?
We've been playing well. Our pass rush gets there. Our defensive backs are much smarter. We're much better than we were when we first played them. So everything's going our way as long as we keep the deep balls in front of us. That's kind of a problem right now.
What do you think was learned from that first game back in September that's helped you all get to this point and be successful?
We're a different team. We just work, and every day we got better. I kept on saying our best football's tomorrow, and that was our theme. Just get better, grind it out, and see where we're at the end. We knew no one was going to want to play us in the playoffs, but hopefully we can play a complete game and complete it in the second half too.
Have a great second half. Thanks, John.
John Holisek, 9-year NFL veteran on the defensive side of the ball. That's been the story in our first half. It's been all about defense, yes. There are 10 points, but there's some big-time hitting. Halftime, Loyola on top, 10-0.
Loyola Academy with a 10-0 lead on top-seeded Brother Rice at halftime in Champaign inside Memorial Stadium in our Class 8A championship game. Patrick Reed, Edgy Tim. Edgy, was this what you expected at this point?
Yes, for the most part. I mean, again, it's a defensive-oriented game. You've got very limited offense going on, great defense. Field position, and we talked about turnovers at the beginning of our broadcast. 2 key turnovers led to 10 points for Loyola. That's been the difference in the ballgame.
And it's been turning defense into offense. That's been the story for Loyola. How they got their touchdown, how they got their 3 points, and Brother Rice the better defensive team coming in, but Loyola has shown they have something to show on that end of the ball as well.
Right. I mean, no one's ever going to accuse a John Holisek team of not being great defensively, because they certainly are. And again, you just don't see the Ramblers out of position. They're always in position, making great plays. And let's face it, Brother Rice has had 2 short fields of work with defensively. Outside of that, they've played pretty well in this game as well. So, again, I just think second half you're going to be looking to hopefully clean up those mistakes if you're Brother Rice. And offensively, both sides, you got to get something figured out offensively.
Loyola able to get to the ball in the air, interceptions, take advantage of them, and get to this point where they stand with a 10-0 lead and taking advantage of the momentum to be at this point. Anything you think has to change for the Ramblers in the second half?
No, again, you keep doing what you're doing. You notice you've got a little bit of a size advantage at wide receiver. You use that. And we didn't mention defensive line play either, because, John Bean was under pressure on quite a few of those throws. So, again, pass rush is certainly getting to him as well. And Brother Rice has also been able to get their pass rush going. So, again, outside of the 2 turnovers, generally pretty even for the most part.
John Bean, a guy who can throw, a guy who can work with his legs as well, and it's been no problem for Loyola, whatever they force him to do.
No, and again, it's something that, you know, I guarantee you the coaches are taking a look, maybe a tweak here or there, maybe try to adjust a blocking scheme. But again, these are two great teams going at it. It's going to be really tough sledding in the second half.
And, you know, they remember that first meeting, too,
no
with
doubt.
Brother Rice and the points put up in that game, and taking that with them tonight. You kind of forget about that as you move through the season, but maybe any extra motivation for this team?
No, you're in a state title game. You got all the motivation you need right here. But we talked about having an answer for the Loyola adjustments, and so far, I think it's maybe the jury's a little bit out on that right now for Brother Rice. We'll see what they can do in the second half.
Well, Loyola with a 10-0 lead on Brother Rice, the top seed and undefeated team in the tournament. Loyola giving them everything they can handle through one half of play in Champaign. We're back with more after this. Nothing Loyola over Brother Rice in Champaign. It's halftime at Memorial Stadium in the Class A championship game. Edgy Tim, defense for Brother Rice had an early goal line stand. They weren't able to turn it into anything positive, though.
Yeah, and again, it's you look back and you have very limited opportunities in games like this, and again, just terrific. You're trying to get that stop, and you get it, and just again, an impressive up-front defensive line, and again, just two heavyweights, it's Clash of the Titans out there, and just think this could possibly be 17-0 right now. But again, you got to feel pretty lucky to have it at 10-0 right now.
Brother Rice comes up.
When Joe Fitzgerald made that goal line stop, you thought that would turn into something for Brother Rice. Now, offensively, they've got to get things going. They had some early good looks in the first quarter, had a lengthy drive that stalled out inside the Loyola 50-yard line. What did you see from up top from Brother Rice in the first half?
Well, and again, you saw some glimmers of maybe some better things to come, and then they just couldn't get things going, especially after the early drive. So, again, you just kind of got to go back and keep chopping wood and find a way. And and you've seen this before as yourself. You're going to see one or two big plays here in the second half to break things open. If you're Brother Rice, you want it sooner rather than later, for sure, no question.
And what we know from John Bean's group is it doesn't take much. The defense has stood up this season, and it hasn't taken them a lot to find the go-ahead points and find these wins to get this far.
No, it does not. And again, that's what you're counting on, certainly heading into the second half. Be able to find that quick little momentum that can carry you, and really for either side. Again, it's that kind of close game. It's so well coached, and that one or two breaks going to make the difference, and someone's going home with a great trophy.
Yeah, Brian Badke's team has proven all season long that they find a way to get it done in the big moments. Will they find it in the second half here in Champaign? We will find out. It's Loyola Academy with a 10-0 lead on Brother Rice. Halftime continues after this from Memorial Stadium.
It's like mumbling now.
Brother Rice head coach Brian Badke as we come back to Memorial Stadium on University of Illinois, standing by with our Patrick Reed.
Brian, the second half, you guys have found a way to get things done in these playoffs. What are some adjustments we might see in the second half of this game with Loyola?
We just got to play our game. Obviously, we turned the ball over, which is uncharacteristic of us. Obviously, we gave them some very good field position, bad field position for us. But we got to play our game, settle down. Obviously, they've been there before. It's their fourth year in a row. But they played some pretty good football. Really proud of our defense. They're holding us up, only, giving them 10 points. So we got to do better offensively, protect the football.
You have a good second half, Brian. Thanks.
Thank you very much.
That's Brian Badke, the head coach of Brother Rice. And, our statistician Mike Rudolphi provided us with a couple of cards here. Let's go with this one. How about this? Brother Rice in the first half this season, first 13 games, outscored their opponents 263-34. Tonight, Crusaders down 10-0.
Yeah, I mean, this is absolutely uncharted territory for Brother Rice. We don't know how they're going to respond. They've been a great football team all year, undefeated. They're not used to being in this position, and they can't run the football, Dave. They're going to have to do it through the air.
Want to play again?
Let's do it. Yeah.
All right. How about this? Brother Rice rushing yards. On the season, the Crusaders have averaged 197 yards per game. Tonight, however, in the first 2 quarters, -8.
Like I said, they can't run the football. So, I mean, it's unbelievable. And again, we've talked about this during the first half of the broadcast. Loyola is a different football team now than they were early in the season at 3-3. Defensively in particular, I mentioned it, let me say it again. They have given up an average of 7.7 points per game since getting off to that 3-3 start. This is a big mountain for Brother Rice to climb in the second half.
You didn't think we were going to have a 40-point first half, did you? I don't think we're going to have one in the second half either. 10-0's your lead for Loyola Academy here at the half. Ramblers looking for another state championship. They match the one they had in 2015. Two members of the Catholic League Blue Conference. Here are your first half statistics. There's your -8 yards rushing in a defensive first half. 89 yards for Loyola Academy in the air. They certainly outgained Brother Rice here. The big number there, other than that, 10. The 2 in the turnover column, because those 2 turnovers led to those 10 points. Glad to have you with us here at Memorial Stadium. Dave Bernhardt, Hub Ark is here above on top of the 50-yard line. Edgy Tim and Patrick Reed down on the field. And as we had mentioned, as we closed out the first half, Brother Rice will get the ball first here in the third quarter. And everything we've said during halftime, I just have this feeling that this possession here could certainly decide this ball game.
Yeah, Dave, I'm not going to say Brother Rice has to get points, but they've got to move the football. They've got to establish something on the ground. They've got to tell Loyola we're not going anywhere. We're going to be here for the next 24 minutes, and points obviously would be nice.
This one will be a little short. Not much room to run. Chase Hall on the return just outside the 20-yard line.
I think the key to remember here for Brother Rice, they're one play away from being in the game. I mean, it's one big play. It's a 3-point game. The issue, though, is that if you can't get your offense going against this Loyola defense, you're feeding into Loyola's aggressiveness and their confidence, and I think it starts to get into Brother Rice's head, too. You wonder how they're coming out of the locker room knowing how they've blown everybody else away. Right now, they need to establish that they're that same football team.
Well, in the first half, field position-wise, Brother Rice has been playing uphill. They've only been in Loyola territory once. First play of the second half will be a handoff to Jesse Plunkett. Plunkett will get about 5 here as we start play. Loyola, remember, 10-3 in the season. They were 3-3 at one point of the season. A stretch in September where the Ramblers lost 3 of their 4 games. In fact, the game they did win over St. Ignatius 21-14, that came in overtime. Some folks at the time, the doubters, wondered whether Loyola would even qualify for the playoffs after that tough month. Bean, this was a lateral, and this is overthrown. Plunkett did not get a good grip. He was looking for his wide receiver, Dylan Summers.
See, I don't think that's a good sign at all, Dave. I mean, you've got Radke already going for the trick plays. I don't think it's a concession speech, but he's acknowledging that what we've done to get here isn't working. We've got to figure out something else. Not a good sign for Brother Rice.
You know, the one thing you have to wonder about, we've seen quarterback John Bean a little bit gimpy, and he's a dual threat quarterback, so is that taking away half of his game? An early important third down. downfield, and that did not come out of Bean's hands very cleanly at all.
Well, not only that, but he's got a covered receiver. It's almost like he's just getting rid of the football. I wonder if he's not a little gun shy at this point and a little concerned that he's going to have to get lucky down the field to make that big play. He had plenty of time to find another receiver, never looked elsewhere, and he threw at a guy who was covered like a blanket.
Yeah,
I know it's his guy, but still, his buddy from down the street.
Arquilla covered there by Jack Burke. Burke had an interception return, or fumble return for a touchdown in the win over Lincoln Way East in the semifinals.
Yeah, and I apologize. Of course, it's Summers who's his buddy from down the street, not Aquila.
Pretty good punt. Jared Lombardi will take the fair catch. Loyola will have it inside their own 40-yard line. Just underway here in the third quarter, a 10-0 lead for the Ramblers. A quick 3 and out for Brother Rice to start this third quarter, and back onto the field will come the Loyola Academy offense. They'll be led by quarterback Jack Fallon. Fallon, we mentioned several times, did not play in the first meeting between these two teams, a game that was played in the middle of September that Brother Rice won 35-3, 89 yards throwing the ball here in the first half. Fallon will start it off with a completion. He gets it to Rory Booz. He was being covered by Jay Sean Means.
I don't want to try and get in the head of high school kids. It's a dangerous place to be, but having raised 3 of them, I can tell you that they can react differently to different situations. And for Loyola, if they get some momentum here, this game could be over early.
Straight up the gut. See number 33, Armani Dixon, in on the offensive side. Michael Gavrick with the carry, and a penalty flag is down. It may have been Dixon that jumped just a bit early, just flinched just a bit. Giacomo Irachi, number 33, 6'2" junior in your picture.
Illegal shift. Number 3. 5-yard penalty, previous spot. Replay it down.
Should make it about a 2nd down and 10 by the time this ball gets spotted.
You know, when I talk about the attitude of these young men, it's just, you know, Brother Rice at 13-0, we mentioned the huge discrepancy in scoring. They haven't really been in any close games after the first half. You just have to wonder how they're going to react to a situation like this.
Field is spread for Loyola. 2 right, 3 left. Fallon will go right.
Yeah. I don't even know if he was the intended receiver, but you cannot run over a receiver quite like that DB just did.
Jack McMahon will get flagged for this one. And the pleas will go not unheard, but with no resolution for Brian Badke.
Yeah, McMahon has been everywhere in this game so far, playing a great game on defense, but just too aggressive there.
Previous spot.
Oh, so that's not even the call. Shame on me. Should have been. It was interference, but that's okay.
Well, here's the play. Unless they say McMahon wrapped an arm around. Nevertheless, first down near midfield. A lot of time for Fallon and a lot of room, but a flag is thrown and another one. McMahon, the big hit on Fallon. And a good guess would be holding.
Yeah, it's going to be offensive holding in the middle of that line.
Remember, this is such an emotional game for these two teams playing out of the same conference.
10-yard penalty for the spot foul. Still one.
One thing about this ball game, it will be the last game played between 2 Catholic League Blue members, because an all-new conference being formed next year, combining the East Bourbon Catholic and the Chicago Catholic League. So this has become kind of a not just bragging rights for the season for a championship game, but for the history of the Chicago Catholic League. First down and a long way to go. To the outside and Gabrick. Short gain cut down there by Jay-Sean Means, only 3 yards.
You know, Dave, I'm sure there's a good reason for it, but there's got to be something just not right about not having the Catholic Blues. It's something we've gotten used to. It's such great football coming out of that conference for so long. Kind of a shame to see it broken up.
Jay-Sean Means with that tackle. 3-year starter for the Crusaders on the defensive side of the ball. Second down and long. Fallon will squirt through, and then the white jerseys come on top. And there's another flag. There's a little extra going on inside there. Not sure who will get this flag thrown on them. But Justin Jefferson didn't take too kindly to something that happened down on that pile. Number 41 there for Brother Rice. Well, this goes against Crusaders. That really hurts.
Dead ball. Personal foul. 41 on the defense. 15-yard penalty. Repeat the down.
Well, there you go. You were set for a third down and long after that stop, and here it becomes a second and manageable. Brother Rice, 5th penalty, a total of 45 yards, and this one could prove costly. All of a sudden, it becomes 3rd down and 2.
Well, and you know, Dave, that's in the category of dumb penalty, and so that gets back to this kind of trend that I've been talking about. You just wonder if Loyola's not in Brother Rice's heads a little bit, and that's something you just can't do.
Loyola, a quick snap to get things rolling again, and cut down short. And this time it will be Zach Wyerko. He'll get the tackle for a loss. He says, no, not in my house. You ain't coming my way. And it's 4th down and a full 2 yards to go.
Yeah, they're going to punt this one. You know, you wonder why this is a 10-0 ball game. Right now, prior to this kick, average starting field position for Loyola, it's been the Brother Rice 47. For Rice, it's been their own 16. And without a big return, they're going to be starting deep here again.
Well, when you take a look at those numbers, 10-0.
You're playing on half a football field. I mean, literally, you got Loyola averaging Brother Rice's end of the field. And this better not be on Rice.
Sideline warning.
Okay.
That will be a sideline warning on Brother Rice.
Because if the penalty was on them, even with 5-yard variety, it would have been a 1st down.
Nate Van Zelst to punt. He has a 24-yard field goal that came with 31 seconds to play in the first half to give us the 10-0 lead. And Zelst will punch. He'll hope it will check up, and the ball will come out to the 20-yard line. So that average starting field position is not going to change by much with the Crusaders starting at their 20.
It's almost like they're getting a 4-yard head start, though.
4 minutes gone here in the 3rd quarter. 10-zip. Ramblers on top for Brother Rice. It's all up to the Brother Rice offense right now. Crusaders have struggled tonight. We have documented that and documented a little bit more here other than the final drive of the first half. Here are the 5 drives. You pointed out during the break, Hub, the interesting thing is the longest drive was the turnover drive that led to the first touchdown, the only touchdown. Jesse Plunkett, the carry, a short gain of 3. That drive of 11 plays took the ball into Loyola territory. Try the ground again. Plunkett is able to wiggle his way through, and he may have that first down. He's right there at the 30-yard line. 7 yards on that run by Plunkett.
Well, and really smart by Brian Badke. I mean, it is a 10-point game. You're not going to get away from what you do best. They're going to have to find a way to run the football, even if they have not in the first 2.5 quarters. That one, the longest run of the night.
Field is spread for Bean. Let's stick with it. This time, Ramblers are there. Slicing in from the left side for Loyola. There he is again. We've called his name a few times, Edward Eastman. Eastman's been in that Brother Rice backfield more than once this evening. The wind has been a factor here this weekend, not so much here tonight. Strong enough breeze, but it's more of a crosswind. Plunkett run down from behind. Great speed this time. It was Luke Deschereaux. He had the fumble recovery and a 41-yard return. This time tackle for a loss of 1.
You know, one of the things that is so impressive about this Loyola defense is how well coached they are, their gap integrity, everybody playing their own assignment, guys not breaking down, trying to be the hero. It's great team defense so far that stopped this Brother Rice running game.
Crusaders need 10 yards here on 3rd down. Bean fires it, and he had some happy feet there. John Bean did not look comfortable in the pocket. He felt a little pressure. About a 95-mile-an-hour fastball to Plunkett.
I'm sure John Bean is an extremely tough kid, but at the risk of being redundant, has not been in this position yet this season, has not seen this kind of pressure, and all he was thinking about on that play was getting rid of that football, not so much where it was going. That was almost blocked.
And what was that average field position that Loyola had tonight? They're going to get it their own 43-yard line. 27-yard kick. The Ramblers to take over a 10-0 lead midway through the 3rd quarter of the 8A championship ball game. Loyola Academy, 2 state championships, 5 runner-up finishes. In fact, the last 2 times that Loyola has been here, of their 4, not counting this evening, runner-up finishes, we mentioned in the pregame, to Maine South and to Lincoln Way East. Some room here to the near side. Trevor Cabanban, his first carry of the night. He gets it out to the 49-yard line after a gain of 6.
I was wondering if something was wrong with him. He's their leading rusher on the season. I'm looking at the halftime stats, and I'm like, where's Cabanban? Did I miss something? And I guess they were just saving him, or at least his number had not been called until just now.
He gives them a different dimension than Michael Gavrick. Cabanban, the shifty runner, the quick runner. Gavrick, more the power runner in the backfield. Cabanban will stay there. He'll line up alongside Bean. He'll get the pitch. Just could not quite squirt through, but he gets himself a first down to the Brother Rice 45-yard line. 7 yards for Cabanban.
If I was this young man, at the risk of upsetting my parents, I would probably change my name, just change the N's to M's and be Kabam-Bam. Be a great name for a running back, wouldn't it? Or for Fred Flintstone's son.
Fred Flintstone. Who would have thought that would have come up in an 8A championship ball game? Fallon looking for it all. Just overthrown inside the 5-yard line. A flag is thrown on the opposite side of the field on the line of scrimmage.
That has been an illegal shift every time tonight, unless they got Brother Rice offsides, but this is probably going against Loyola.
Illegal formation on the offense. 5-yard penalty, repeat the down.
If I'm not wrong, Mike, that is just Loyola's 2nd penalty tonight. They have been extremely, well, I am wrong, it's 4, but all of the shorter variety. They've been pretty well disciplined.
Ball squarely in midfield. One thing Brian Badke's looking for is a turnover. 2 turnovers by his team has cost him 10 points. And that's the turnover that nearly happened. Oh, my goodness. Danny Fitzgerald had it and could not handle it. Boy, all of a sudden, number 8 got in the line of fire here.
Oh, he is not going to get any sleep tonight, Dave. I'll tell you what, that one hit him right in the hands. I don't think he's going to the house, but he gets a huge turnover with it, and he just dropped the football. That's a shame.
Fallon back to the air. And he misses on this pass to Lombardi.
Fallon's pass intended for Jared Lombardi is incomplete.
Well, this is 2 straight passes that Jack Fallon has missed badly on.
Well, I was going to say, just a couple bad throws because he had open receivers on both plays, too. And you wonder if he's getting a little excited as the third quarter winds down.
I don't think we can overstate how emotional this game is. It's more than just a state championship game.
Loyola just 2 of 7 to this point on third down. This one a long one, 3rd and 15. If they convert this, that would be a statement.
Not going to happen. And look for just a moment as if Fallon may be able to get through. And James Kyle said, Make that. Ty McCoy said, Justin Jefferson applying the pressure. A tackle from McCoy.
Van Zels's running formation.
Once again, Van Zels. 2 punt. And that one is blocked. Coming up the middle. And there is something that Brother Rice has been waiting for in some form of another. Justin Jefferson just bull rushed his way to block that punt of Van Zelst.
And that's one I wish I hadn't swallowed, because after the last play I was going to say Justin Jefferson is playing a great football game tonight, and he got there early. I mean, there was no way he could miss that block. It hit him basically right in the chest.
He just blew right by Armani Dixon.
Yeah, I think Dixon probably is supposed to pick him up on that. That's almost like a missed assignment by Dixon, who's also played a great football game. It's too bad.
2 turnovers in the first half led to 10 points for Loyola. Does Brother Rice convert this into points? Looking for Summers. There he is! To the 5-yard line. 32 yards, 1st and goal.
Summers ran a little double move there, a little out and up, and the DB had him covered on the first move to the sideline, but then the DB quit, didn't go up the field with him.
Brother Rice to the line quickly. Plunkett backpedals his way for a yard or 2.
Yeah, I actually wonder, that was not a DB, that was the linebacker Patrick Daniels on that coverage on the Summers 32-yard catch, and he just got a little mismatch there where Summers had too much speed for him.
Long time in the huddle. Plenty of time to get the snap off, however. A lot of noise here at Memorial Stadium. Bean to keep it. It will be 3rd and goal. In the first half, we saw Brother Rice with a goal line stand on 1st and goal inside the 5. The Ramblers duplicate that here in the 3rd quarter. From inside the 3-yard line. Bean looking for Aquila. Gonzalez on the coverage for Loyola.
Ball was underthrown, and actually if it was thrown well, Gonzalez might have picked it. That was we've now seen both quarterbacks not understanding how to throw that fade pass. You got to get it over the top, not out in front of him.
And now will be Brother Rice's turn to attempt the field goal. It will be Jack McMahon, 1 of 3 this year. John Bean is the holder. It will be a 20-yard attempt from the left hash. McMahon will get it through, and Brother Rice capitalizes on the block punt. They get a field goal and makes this a 1-touchdown game. And Justin Jefferson can put those 3 points in his back pocket. His block punt sets it up, the long completion to the 5-yard line to Summers, and McMahon finishes it with a 20-yard field goal.
It really is a big stop by Loyola, though. I mean, I know it's just a 1-score game now, 10-3, but you know, you're down at the 5-yard line with first down, and Brother Rice still can't punch it into the end zone. Loyola's got to be feeling a little better about that, too.
You know, and we discussed that in the first half. Nate Van Zelst hit a 24-yard field goal for Loyola with 31 seconds left in the half, and that came after an interception by Michael Byrne. And I believe you made the comment, Brother Rice is happy to walk out of there, giving up just 3, and the same can be said here for the Ramblers. It's a 1-touchdown game. 2:16 to play here in the third quarter. All of our points tonight have come off of turnovers, which I suppose is what you would have expected coming into this game with 2 great defenses. Short, this will hang up in the air for a while. And in a relative sense, terrible field position here for Loyola to start this drive at the 32-yard line.
Yeah, normally you'd be thrilled, but when you've been starting at your own 36, you got to wonder. You talk about, you know, these defenses dominating the game and how even it's really been. Total offense at this point with just 2:12 left in the third quarter, 157 yards for Loyola, 150 for Brother Rice. They're matching kind of blow for blow here. You have to keep thinking it's likely to be a defensive play that could mean the difference in this game.
Well, so far it has been, right? Yeah. 2 turnovers to the block punt. The Ban brought down for a loss. It will be 2nd down and 12 following that TFL. We started this half with Brother Rice possession, receiving the opening kickoff, and indicated that that possession would go a long way, would go towards deciding this outcome. So might this defensive stand. That's a great job right there by Ty McCoy. And you feel the intensity here just ratcheting up. It's 3rd down and long.
Fallon talking to Jared Lombardi after that play. Apparently he was unhappy about something. I wonder if Lombardi missed the play call.
Need 12 yards for a first down. Delivers, and he may have it. Rory Booz with the catch. He ran a great pattern. He ran a 12-yard pattern. Now the question is, did he get inches enough? They will say yes.
Chains on that side of the field, so he knew exactly where he had to go. He didn't get there by more than 6 inches there.
Wayne Fallon delivered. On the coverage was Jayshon Means. Fresh set of downs for the Ramblers. Lombardi to the right side, written down. Once again, it's McMahon on the stop. Jack McMahon, number 44. Last year, the first game, tore his ACL. One of several injuries the Crusaders suffered en route to a 2-7 season. They have turned it around to 13-0 this year. Only 2 yards on the completion. And that was Lombardi coming from right to left. And another big 3rd down here in the final minute of play in the third quarter. Play signaled in from the sidelines. Fallon, some room, and he will have that first down. 2 big third down conversions on this possession.
Jack Fallon just went from 2 of 7 on third to 4 of 8 in a hurry with a 12-yard pickup on that scramble. And that is a big first down. And once again, they are now going to play on Brother Rice's half of the field.
Those third down conversions, they weren't 3rd and 2. They were 3rd and long. Good wheels to get around the corner. And we have a corner in this game. We turn the corner to the 4th quarter. A 10-7 game in your 8A title game. Ramblers on top.
The 2018 IHSA Football State Finals are brought to you by Country Financial. At Country Financial, we know preparing for your financial future can feel overwhelming. We want to help you take it one simple step at a time at TakeSimpleSteps.com. And by Biaggi's, where carry-out and curbside pickup make it easy to enjoy the great taste of Biaggi's at home. Visit Biaggi's online at Biaggi's.com.
We start the 4th quarter. The quick snap goes to Fallon. He goes for 8. 2nd down and short. 10-3 is the lead for Loyola. The Rice needs a defensive stop here. The Ramblers are going to punch it in by virtue of a conventional drive without having to take advantage of a turnover. Jack Fallon today, 11 of 18 for 111 yards in the air. He's carried the ball 13 times for 44 yards. He leads all ground gainers for the Ramblers. And this is Gavrick looking to get the hard yards. This will be close at the 33-yard line.
I did not expect Jack Fallon to make this big an impact on the ground, but John Halasek did tell us earlier in the week it was the extra mobility that Fallon added that made such a big difference when he was able to get back from that injury and be a key cog in that big win streak that Loyola's put on after the 3-3 start to get to 10-3.
Separated shoulder in week 1, came off the bench in week 5, and he is taking the Ramblers the rest of the way. And Gavrick will come up that short of a first down. Third time on this drive that Loyola will look to convert on 3rd down. The first 2 times they were 3rd and 12 and another 3rd and long. This time it's 3rd and you saw it, less than a foot. Gavrick behind Fallon. Fallon will look to sneak it. And from here it's anybody's guess how far he got.
Well, it looks like he's right on the line. The marker is right at the 33. And it looks like they're going to put the ball right on the 33.
Not even going to bother to measure it. It's 4th down. Yeah, I don't know that there's much of a doubt as to what the Ramblers are going to do here. Don Halasek may be the defensive coordinator, but it's his call to say whether they go for it or not. The offense stays out there. Play clock is already down to 15 seconds, however. 4th and less than a yard. Gavrick powers through the surge off the left side of the offensive line for Loyola behind Christo Kelly and Peter Generis.
You know, Dave, when it works, you're a genius, but I will never understand why teams with 4th and a foot or 4th and inches decide to go in the shotgun and line up 5 yards behind the line of scrimmage when you can take the ball 6 inches from where you have to go.
First down for the Ramblers, and Halasek likes it.
And that's about as excited as John gets most of the time. He is not the most demonstrative guy on the sidelines.
So 2 third down conversions and a 4th down conversion on this drive. Short gain of a yard for Gavrick on 1st down. Keep an eye on that clock. 9.5 to play in a 7-point game. Brother Rice defense this year, giving up only 5.5 points a game, only 72 yards per game on the ground. Delivering, 1st down, reception at the 20-yard line. Fallon right on the money to Artie Collins. 11 yards and another 1st down for Loyola.
It's a 1st down for Loyola at the 19-yard line.
This has been a methodical drive. It's reached inside the 20. Thirteenth play of the drive coming up. Cabanban. No hole there. Swallowed up quickly. McMahon was there. Jefferson was there. McCoy was there. A little over 8 minutes to play. Any type of a score here would be huge. Fallon will fling it to Lombardi. Lombardi with a nice cut. The first move by Jared Lombardi springs him for 7 yards. And a manageable 3rd down.
Well, they've converted 3 straight 3rd downs, Dave, and that's been the story of this drive. They're eating a fair amount of clock, but with it now down to a 7-point lead, they really want to come away with points here. Obviously would prefer a touchdown to a field goal. Drive has already taken 6.5 minutes off the clock.
Well, we were back in the 3rd quarter when this drive started. We need a couple for another 1st down. One second on the play clock. Loyola will take a timeout.
Loyola.
So while each team talk to their respective coaches, we'll step aside. 10-3, that's the Loyola lead in your 8A title game here from Champaign. .7:17 to play in a 10-3 lead for Loyola. The Ramblers right now on their 8th possession of this ball game. They look to put some more points on the board. A couple of possessions, they got their 10 points by virtue of turnovers. The 6 other possessions, they've had to punt it away 3 times. Brother Rice stopped the Ramblers twice on downs. What will this possession yield? Right now, it's 3rd down and 2. Fallon has room to operate. Down he goes! For a moment, it looked like Fallon had something he could work with, but the Brother Rice defense stands tall. Number 58, Zach Wyerko, drops Fallon for a loss of 9. It will be 4th and 11.
Yeah, and the problem with that decision is it makes it a much tougher field goal. It's still a makeable kick for an experienced kicker, but he just added about 8 yards to it.
Richard Seaver, number 5 there, slowed down Fallon. A 37-yard field goal attempt from Van Zelst.
His last one did not go 37 yards.
This one is up, and it has enough. Second field goal of the game for Nate Van Zelst, his 14th of the season. Gives Loyola that 10-point advantage back with 6:27 to play. Nate Van Zelst had a field goal to close out the first half to make it a 10-point difference. And he duplicates that here. Difference being only 6.5 minutes left in your 8A championship game.
I heard it. You know, I was walking down the walkway, and I heard
Loyola Ramblers on top, 13-3. They're feeling good about themselves in football. Patrick Reed will tell us why they feel good about themselves off the field.
Yeah, for Loyola, it's been a run of success. They play in their third state championship game in the last 3 seasons. But off the field, John Holisek's team takes seriously the mission to be men for others. And they do so through the Misericordia Home in Chicago, which is a home for disabled adults. So in the summer, the Ramblers hosted a group day where they invite members of the home to come out for a day of play and practice. They cut the practice short through the Ramblers to spend time with these folks from the Misericordia Home. Coach Holisek said it's really an event that creates an awakening for us. We'll never be happier than that moment. He says the seniors in his group really take it seriously and lead the other members of the team in working with these individuals. And what he says about the group is that no matter how bad our day is, connecting with these folks has truly been uplifting for us.
Great story, Patrick. Thank you very much.
You know, Dave, one of the great joys of my life is I've spent a little over 30 years now on the board of Special Olympics Illinois, and of course all of our work is with especially challenged, mentally challenged individuals. We raised our kids around it. It's great work. It's not work. It's a pleasure. It's a privilege. And have talked to John a little bit about this and the relationship. And it's such a great thing to be teaching high school students. Forget even the student athlete part about it. Really impressed with the work Loyola does.
Brother Rice chasing 10 with 6.5 to play. Bean will go deep in traffic. He was looking for Arquilla. Coverage by number 35 for the Ramblers. That is Jack Burke. How about that last drive? Here's a look back at Bean's pass into some traffic. And actually, it's Arquilla who played defensive back on that play. But how about the Ramblers' drive? You talk about methodical. How about 16 plays? It covered 47 yards. And it took up 7 minutes and 49 seconds.
And got the 3 points back to make it a 2-score game.
Exactly. Flag thrown. Bean. Get about 4 yards. But the penalty flag, they go against the Crusaders.
You know, Dave, one other thought on that Misericordia story as we await this story. For those of our listeners who are not aware, if not their greatest benefactor, one of the greatest benefactors of Misericordia is Mike Ditka. The coach has been involved deeply with Misericordia.
On the offense, 5-yard penalty. Repeat the down.
Mike involved ever since he was the head coach of the Chicago Bears. And for those of you who have not heard, Mike apparently suffered a heart attack earlier this week down in Florida. He was in the hospital in Naples. They installed a pacemaker, and my understanding is that he is out of the hospital and recovering nicely. But our thoughts and best wishes out to Mike Dick, and I know Mike is thrilled with the work that Loyola does for Misericordia.
After the 5-yard penalty, Bean comes up limping once again after he released that pass. He has not looked comfortable tonight because of possibly a lower body injury and also because of the pressure that he has had put on him. And yeah, look at him just drag that foot along.
No, it's not like Colin Smith hasn't played the position. He's gotten some time. A lot of it's been mop-up duty, though. And obviously, in a state championship game, Brian Backey is saying, I'm going to go with my banged-up Bean rather than my number 2 quarterback.
Third down's a factor in the Loyola drive. It will be here for Brother Rice as well. Pump, go for Arquilla, just a little bit overthrown. Once again, Burke on Arquilla.
Arquilla had beaten double coverage out there, Dave. He had 2 guys on him. He had a step on both, and Bean just let that one go a little bit too far over the top.
Oh, what an agonizing feeling for Anthony Arquilla. The ball just kept floating on him. Let's come down to this. 5:51 to play. 4th down and 15. Crusaders have no choice but to go for it. Over the middle. Complete. Flag down. The reception made near midfield. 1st down and more to John Mawicki. Or make that David O'Keefe. Goes for 25 yards, but it's coming back.
It's going to be holding on Brother Rice. And, you know, a couple of minutes ago, I got a text from someone watching the game who wanted to know.
75 on the offense. 10-yard penalty, spot a foul. Repeat the down.
Very complimentary of the broadcast, particularly you, by the way. But he wanted to know why the officials are calling the numbers of the players out. And I understand, you know, in the NFL, fine, they're pros, they're getting paid. It's something they didn't do in college until about 10, 12 years ago. They're doing it in college now, too. Some could argue that they're, you know, adults and being compensated. I don't think it's necessary to be calling out the numbers of these kids in this game. They know who it is, and I'm not real wild about the idea of identifying them for the crowd.
Now with that holding call, 4th down and 31, there is no decision to be made. Brother Rice will have to kick it away and hope for the best. That's the 7th penalty against the Crusaders for 66 yards. Everybody runs away from it. Pretty good kick. But Loyola, the Ramblers from Wilmette, after a 47-yard punt, will take over with 5 minutes and 12 seconds to play and a 10-point lead as they search for their first state championship in 3 years. It was back in 2015. Loyola went 14-0. Runner-up finishes each of the last 2 years. A 3-3 record in September this season. And here they are, 5 minutes and 12 seconds away from duplicating what this team did in 2015. This game at Husky Stadium in DeKalb.
Yeah, just a quick snap from Jack Fallon there as they try and get on the field quickly and see if they can't outsmart Brother Rice, but Brother Rice was up to it. He is stopped for no gain on 1st down.
Brother Rice has all 3 timeouts remaining. But again, with the play clocks here at Memorial Stadium, quarterback, in this case Jack Fallon, can just let this clock wind all the way down before he asks for that snap. And he does. The band, nothing there. 3rd down and 10.
The clock is Loyola's friend at this point. They're not even worried about whether they convert this or not. You know, I think that last decision by Bakke, yeah, no decision on 4th and 31, but I think it was more the concern about giving Loyola the ball at the 19 as opposed to when they were out at the 34. He thought, well, my defense might be able to stop him anyway.
You know, the irony of that, that pass completion to O'Keefe, it was called back because of penalty. That was the most effective play that Brother Rice maybe has had other than very early in his ballgame. They'll stay on the ground looking for the 10 yards. Boy, that's going to be close. That might be enough. Do they get there?
Yep, they're going to give it to him.
Oh, my goodness. 11 yards. They needed 10. The last 6 was just a surge. What a statement.
The last 6, Dave, was a rugby scrum. I'm not even sure if he gets there without half his team pushing him.
First down, Loyola. To Ban. He has a lot of help. Look at that pile move. That's impressive. We're approaching 3 minutes to play. Again, Rice with 3 timeouts remaining. A 10-point difference. There's the first of 3 timeouts used by the Crusaders. First time since 1985 that Brother Rice has played in a state championship ball game, the smallest Class 8A school back in 1981. Brother Rice, their only state championship in school history. Team that went 13-0 on the regular season plus the 4 games of the playoffs. And tonight, Loyola makes that game back in September seem like it was 5 years ago. That was a game that Brother Rice won 35-3. First place trophy being positioned. Medals to be had. 3 minutes and 5 seconds away from that. Staying on the ground, they'll look to stay in bounds. Good decision right there. There could have been a couple extra yards there, but staying in bounds keeps that clock moving. 7-yard gain. The clock now stops with the second timeout called by Brother Rice.
You know, Dave, you mentioned earlier in the broadcast that one of the things about Loyola is that players wait their turn. Usually you've got to be at least a junior or a senior to get on the football field. They also have, as you pointed out, over 100 guys in uniform. And for that reason, you rarely see two-way players for Loyola. I don't remember seeing a Rambler play as much offense and defense as Armani Dixon has tonight. He has been out there, you know, obviously every play on defense and a good, I don't know, 60-70% of the plays on offense as well, just as a lead blocker out there in the running game.
Yeah, that is something certainly unusual for a John Holisek team. Our Wintrust play of the game. It's going to be on the defensive side, and why not? This is after Brother Rice blocked a punt. They were driving, looking for a touchdown, but Loyola said no. 2 straight stops turned Brother Rice away, and that was your Wintrust plays of the game. Brother Rice will use their final timeout here. A loss of 3 on the play will put the ball back near midfield, and it will be 4th down. Gotta believe, well, I don't know what you believe here. My thought would be Loyola will go for it here to avoid any sort of mishap on a special teams play. We've already had a punt block here tonight.
Interesting call. I'm thinking I might go the other way.
Really, you would?
Well, I mean, I hate to give Brother Rice half a field, but there's going to be, you know, 252, one big play. I think you probably want to try and pin him a little deeper.
The decisions will be made by those folks down there, and we'll keep an eye out. If you see number 15, that would be Nate Van Zels. There he is on the lower left of your screen. If you see him head out onto the field, the decision will be punt, and that's where he's going. So there's a direct line from my partner Hub Arkish down to the Loyola sideline to say Hub says kick.
Well, I mean, yeah, you had a punt block, but you don't want to concede, okay, we can't get off a good punt. I just hate to give up this much field position in a 10-point game.
1 deep for the Crusaders. And Zels, no pressure. Gets it away. That will work very nicely for Loyola. 2:45 for Brother Rice. Out of timeouts. A 30-yard kick from Van Zelst to go along with a couple of field goals tonight. And there has to be magic for the Crusaders right now, down by 10 at 13-3. A team that averaged 31 points per game. Brother Rice held without a touchdown. And each time John Bean comes onto the field, that limp becomes more pronounced. In the second half, John Bean has thrown 7 passes, completed just 1 for 32 yards. That was after a first half he threw for 108 yards, 9 of 15. Tough to plant. and too much. Again, double coverage. And, you know, we've talked about the linebackers, the defensive line for Loyola tonight. How about the secondary for Loyola?
They played really good football. And, you know, you look at that throw from Bean, Dave, and I think the other thing you realize is I'm going to guess it's got to be a sprained ankle, because he is not stepping into these throws, and that's what, you know, keeps you from following through and causes that ball to sail. Everything is going too far. It's not like he's missing left, right, and short. He's overthrowing everything because he's not stepping into the ball and following through.
Fires this one. That will be good enough for a first down. The clock will stop momentarily. Dylan Summers with that catch. They went for 11. Chains move. As soon as they're set, we'll wind it up. Delivers to Arquilla, a little bit behind him. .227 to play.
For Loyola, it is everything in front of you time. That's the name of this defense. Nobody gets behind you. We'll give them 10. We're not going to give them 40.
The safety valve was Jesse Plunkett. And it's 3rd down and 10. Well, trailing here the entire way. Brother Rice has never led. The lead got to 10-0, cut it to 10-3, now 13-3. Jesse Plunkett, his effect on the ground game has been minimalized.
And you kind of see the look in their eyes, David. They seem a little shell-shocked. I'm sure they're disappointed. They can see the clock. They can see the scoreboard. But beyond that, they've got that 1,000-yard stare. They're just kids that are facing something that they didn't seem to see coming.
Once again, Bean under pressure. And that is the best he can manage. It's really quite amazing, given his limp and his discomfort, that Bean was able to avoid the sack. And here's what it comes down to. Very simple. It's 4th down. Brother Rice is out of timeouts. Bean basically playing on 1 foot. And that did not feel good right there. Have to get across the 41-yard line to keep their hopes alive. Not going to happen. The Ramblers come hard. Edward Eastman and Loyola knows they are just 2 minutes and 10 seconds away from their school's 3rd state championship.
That is the 4th sack of John Bean on the evening, and I guess you'd have to say the most important, because at this point it looks like victory formation, and it's all over but the shouting. Loyola apparently has completed their revenge tour, winning at the U of I for the John Holisek, I should say, the head coach, winning here at Illinois for the first time, his other title in DeKalb. John Holisek obviously won a few ball games on this field, but that was back as a linebacker in the 80s, actually early 80s.
Gavrick with an opening off the left side. Speaking of John Holisek, the head coach for Loyola Academy, right here on his home turf. Wow. People change over the years, don't they? There's Holisek, little number 52. And there's John Holisek, vintage 2018. And there the Ramblers.
He's looking over his shoulder for the Gatorade, isn't he?
Yeah,
I saw him try to sneak a peek there.
Yeah, you know, he's looking at the video board too, because he knows that that's where he's going to be able to scout it out. Gavrick, and maybe enough for a first down. On September 8th, Loyola lost to Mount Carmel. On the 14th, lost to Brother Rice. Defeated St. Ignatius in overtime. Then on the 29th of September, lost to Montini. The Ramblers were 3-3. Not too many people thought that they would be sitting here a minute and a half away from a state championship.
Some of the Loyola kids were over by the Gatorade, and one of the assistant coaches went over, and I think he may have just told them no. They walked away from the Gatorade. Come on, don't be a killjoy. The kids are coming back. They're going to get the Gatorade.
That reaction from Halasek was the measurement for a first down for Loyola, and they know they have it. He's taking the headsets off. That's right. No need to get any sort of electrical shock when that water, Gatorade, whatever's in the jug hits you. And the thing that makes this special for Halasek, one of the many reasons, is his son Jake is on this team. So he will have an opportunity to celebrate a state title with one of his children.
What did he tell us on the phone the other day? There's something special about not just celebrating a win, but being able to go out on the field and hug your own son.
Right.
He's got a son who's a junior, a son who's a freshman in the program, and this is going to be that much more special for him with this title. Here comes the Gatorade. Oh, he knows. He's already looking at it.
He says no, but I think he's challenging them.
Watch the game.
He's trying to avoid yelling, watch the game. That much lip reading I can do. Come on, coach, have some fun.
This should be the last snap. Let's see where the officials put the ball down. Loyola Ramblers, the state champs in 2018. He's still looking for it. Ha! Look at the moves.
Maybe he can't swim. I wonder what that's all about. Now he's getting a big hug now.
And you know he got the hug from number 52, son Jake Halasek. Son was going to get dad with the jug. Instead, he'll be satisfied with the hug. The final score, Loyola 13, Brother Rice 3. The 8A state championship will go to Wilmette.
And Dave, let me recap it one more time. In 2016, they came down here, got beat by Maine South. Loyola beat Maine South this year in the quarterfinals 17-0. Last year in DeKalb, they got to the finals, got beat by Lincoln Way East. In the semifinals last Saturday, they knock off Lincoln Way East 24-16. Earlier this season on September 14th, a 35-3 shellacking from Brother Rice, and the revenge tour is complete for the Loyola Ramblers as they are now the 8A state champs.
Different handshake line here in November than it was in September. The Loyola Ramblers, your 2018 state champions, and the coach, a great evasive move for Halasek. It ain't gonna happen. Father and son. It's a mob scene on the near side of the field, right in front of the Loyola student section. The Ramblers football team absolutely sprinted to that portion of the field, and what a celebration here in Champaign. 13-3 is your final here in the 8A championship ball game. Our Country Financial Player of the Game will modify it somewhat. Players of the game, it's the Loyola Academy defense. Absolutely dominating here tonight in the 8A championship. Turned away Brother Rice, used turnovers to turn into points, and with it a 10-point victory and a state title. Patrick Reed's down the field with head coach John Halasek.
When your son Jake tried to get you with the Gatorade, you avoided it, but what did you say to him?
A special moment, love you. You know, one of my other coaches got a state champion with his son, so it's fun. It's a lot of work, a lot of time we spend together. It's special.
With both your sons, for sure.
Yeah, both of them, and for both the fathers, it's special to win the last game with a family member.
In your memories in this building in Champaign, playing at U of I, but where does this one rank?
You know, individually, I'm responsible for a large group, so it's sweet when you can lead a team to a championship. We had a lot of great games here I'm so lucky to be friends with Dana Howard, one of the best players ever. I'm going to go to the New York for his Hall of Fame induction next week. Those were special moments walking out as a captain on this field, and it's pretty cool to relive it today.
You've coached champions. You've brought teams to championship games before. This 2018 team, what made them so special the whole way through?
They just never gave up. It's really the commitment that the team that they did. We were in playoff mode since week 7. Desperate for and desperate for to improve, and they believe actually put the work in and got better. And every week we're like, our best football is tomorrow, and they believed in it. It's a special group.
Go enjoy this win. Thank you, John.
Thank you very much, Patrick. John Holisek, emotional here in more ways than one. One with the son, one with the team.
Well, and Dave, we talk about the defense of both teams, but in particular Loyola. I mentioned a stat at the beginning of the game. After the 3-3 start, they went 7-0 to get here. Gave up an average of 7.7 points a game in those 7 games. Tonight, Brother Rice comes in averaging 197 yards on the ground. They had 156 total yards tonight, 5 rushing yards against this Loyola defense. They were absolutely impenetrable and outstanding.
Absolutely amazing performance from the Loyola. You said a revenge tour through the playoffs and sticking with it and being able to hold the championship trophy for Class 8A here at Memorial Stadium in Champaign, Illinois. An 11-3 final record. Those 3 losses in September, a distant memory. And for Brother Rice, what a story for the Crusaders. 2-7 last year. They said we can do it this year. They take it all the way down. They finish with a 13-1 mark. But tonight, the night belongs to Loyola. They'll take that trophy and become their 3rd trophy, their 3rd championship trophy. And they'll put that in their trophy case in Wilmette.
You know, Dave, I would just throw out very quickly a Brother Rice game, a great season, 13-1. For John Bean, tough way to end the season, but that kid was heroic in the second half. You could tell he was hurting badly, refused to leave the football field. No, it didn't end well, but nothing for you to hang your head about, son. Great season for Brother Rice as well.
Well, a pleasure once again working with you here in our 7A and 8A ball games.
My favorite weekend of the year, Dave. Hopefully we'll get to do it again.
We have played 8 football games. It's covered 24 hours. Here are your state champions in 1A through 8A. Full coverage here brought to you from Champaign. And it was a day yesterday that, well, the weather was a little bit different, a little bit cooler and a little bit wetter. And this is how it looked as we go through 8 games. First of all in 1A, Camp Point Central and Forreston. It was the Cardinals' day for Forreston. A dominating performance, 3rd state championship in the last 5 years for Forreston. And then in 2A, a rematch of last year's 2A game, Maroa Forsyth and Gibson City Melvin Sibley. This one belonged once again to GCMS. They go back-to-back and claim state championships, one in DeKalb and another here in Champaign. It got darker, but for Monticello, it got brighter. First appearance ever in the state title ball game. And they outlast Byron, and it's Cully Welter that gets the water shower. He wins state championships with 2 different teams. Monticello, their first football state championship. Not a first state championship for IC Catholic Prep. It's the first time the Knights in Class 4A going back-to-back in 3A. They win it in 4A this year over Bishop McNamara in the rain. Earlier today, a rematch of Joliet Catholic and Montini. So many great games played. And it's Joliet Catholic Academy, the Hilltoppers, claiming their 14th state championship in school history. Cary Grove looking to make some noise in 6A, and oh, did the Trojans do just that. 2 state titles for Cary Grove. Brad Seaberg gets the water. State championship trophy heading back to Cary. In 7A, Nazareth Academy. They bring the superstars, St. Charles North. They brought the story, but in the end, it was Tim Rackey that brings home yet another state championship to Nazareth Academy. And here in our Class 8A ball game, what can you say? Turnovers, Loyola Academy they convert them into points. Loyola winning the second state championship in the last 3 years. John Holisek's not getting wet, but he's going to get a hug from his son Jake, and the championship trophy will go to Loyola. 13-3 your final in this one. It's been a great weekend from Champaign. Thanks for joining us, everybody. We'll see you next year.